Blast me to the mortal realms. It's time for the Mad Merlins review of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer, issue 44, by Hachette Partworks and Warhammer. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer video review. And today I'm bringing you issue 44, which is our latest paint issue. So we get 2 new paints in this magazine. We also get a STC layer brush. Mine seems to be missing the plastic tube. But yeah, we have Skeleton Horde and Baylor Brown, 2 rather nice paints. I actually use both of these quite a lot myself. Skeleton Horde is very handy for cloth, bone and the like. And Baylor Brown I find useful for when it comes to highlighting leathers. So, before we dive into the issue, don't forget to like the video if you are enjoying the content. And if you are, please consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already done so, as we are very close to 500 subscribers. And I will probably try to do something a little special for that. I haven't decided what yet, but I will let you know closer to the time. Finally then, don't forget to check all the links in the video description, including the Mad Merlins Patreon page, where there are now regular posts, including monthly exclusive videos. Before we get into the issue, I will let you know I am feeling under the weather, so if there's any breaks in my speech, that is the reason. I am sadly battling against Nurgle's vile plague, but I am slowly winning. Right, without further ado, let's adjust the camera and dive into issue 44. Right, here we go. So, we have a small layer STC brush and looks pretty good. I've actually started using my STC brushes. I'm using the base brushes, medium and the larger one that we got at the moment. They're quite nice. I do prefer dry brushing though, with the dry brush that we got not too long ago. That is actually a really nice brush. Gives a nice end result as well. So, paint issue, we of course get paints. We got Baylor Brown here, a lovely mustard yellow brown sort of colour. Perfect for edge highlighting leather, giving it a bit of a worn appearance. And yeah, I'm sure we'll be putting that to use in this issue. And the other paint we got is another contrast paint. We got Skeleton Horde, so perfect for all our bone details, as well as any parchment. So it's a pretty universal good colour. Gives a lovely end result. So moving into the issue, we have, of course, 2 new paints, a layer brush, and painting Cruel Boy's shields. Not a lot in this issue. We have a story, the first strike. We have a Champions of Shaman collect article. Then we use Skeleton Horde and Baylor Brown on our models before we have a special paint guide on how to do different Cruel Boy shields. And finally, we have a new battle plan, Shifting Paths. So, the first strike. At the moment of their deaths, the souls of Stormcast Eternals are returned to the realm of heavens to be reforged. They are the perfect warriors who can not only fight again and again for their cause, but they can also die again and again for it too. So yeah, we see a Vindictor Prime Davin here, facing off against some Mega Gargants. So poor guy's in over his head. And yeah, got a rather nice story here. Davin Strongheart looks without fear at the Mega Gargant, staring him dead in the eye. So yeah, pretty cool. Nice little artwork that actually matches with the story. So that's really nice. So yeah, pretty cool story. Moving on then, we got the Champions of Shaman, another one of our D3 tables to help add a little bit of background to our forces. So we can use this to make backgrounds for particular heroes, units or creatures. We can either roll for it randomly or choose whichever one we find works the best. So we've got Hero Origins table there, Unit Origins table, and a Creature Origins table there as well. So rather cool, nice to give us a little bit more of a background to our characters and units. Moving on then, we are looking at using our new paints, Skeleton Horde and Baylor Brown. So the first thing we want to do is to tidy up all our models. So we're using Retributor Armor, Lead Belcher and Wraithbone to do so, tidying up areas that we might have accidentally painted over or areas we have not painted as of yet. Then we're tidying up some areas of Corax White as well before we start applying our new colours. So we're going back to a lot of our Stormcast models. So we're using Reichland Flesh Shade on the gold and the flesh, Nuln Oil on silver, white, blue and brown details. And then we're applying Skeleton Horde to anywhere with Wraithbone or Corax White. So we've got things like the strings on the Vigilor's bows, little trinkets, tassels on the banner for our Sylvaneth, and even the Vindictor Prime's little pennants fluttering in the wind. This is also a perfect colour for skulls, rope and scrolls, as well as the flesh here of the Gryph-hounds. So yeah, pretty useful colour, can be used on a variety of different things as it's shown here. And that's pretty much everything we are doing on the Stormcast and Order side of models. It's literally just Skeleton Horde on a few little bits of details. But our models are starting to look a little more complete now, which is pretty cool. For our destruction side, though, we have a little bit more to do. So again, we're going to be tidying up a lot of areas, picking out finer details that we've previously missed. So bits of rope, stitching, spots on the mushrooms there, ropes holding the bottles in place, using Abaddon Black, as well as the contents of the pot there. Corn red to pick out the tongue of our Marshcrawler Slog-Off. Don't forget to tidy up around the mouth if you make any mistakes with Wraithbone. Runelord Brass for any piercings, gold, bangles, trinkets, etc. Nose ring on the squig there. Then we're using Catachin Flesh to pick out the sticks and necklace there on the drummer, before using Baylor Brown for the ends of the drumsticks, as well as the cork in the bottle there. And then we're using Baraknar Burgundy to paint the contents of the little bottle that the Snurk Sour Tongue is drinking. Then we're using Mephiston Red to paint the contents of the pot and the this is when my tongue stops working. The Swamp Cooler Shaman, where he's pouring his potion out. Then we're shading our models, so we're using Nuln Oil on the Catachin Flesh, Corn Red, and Baraknar Burgundy areas. Agrax Earthshade on areas with Runelord Brass, Baylor Brown, and Mephiston Red. Reichland Flesh Shade on the Bolt Boys skin banner. And Gryph Charger Grey on the little fairy in Zarbag's cage there. Then we're using our new colours, so Skeleton Horde on a lot of the bangles, teeth and ropes and skulls of our orcs, the belly of the biter grub there on the staff of the cave shaman there, undersides of mushrooms as well, the nets and fletchings on the arrows, and any other small little bits of ropage. And then there we have a finished gallery of all our models that we've done so far. Personally, I would definitely use Balor Brown to perhaps go over the skin of our hobgrots. It makes them look more hobgrotty. That's an official word, look it up. So, now we got our special guide, how to add unique scare shields colorings to your Uruk armies. So depending on which tribe you decide your Uruks come from. So we got the big yellers, who are common in Shaman and have yellowy coloured scare shields. The skullbugs, who hail from Shaiish. And the death toxers, another Uruk war clan that come from Shaman, who have a really nice dark sea green there. So the yellow shields, you want to start with Avalan Sunset, Shade of Right and Flesh Shade, highlight of Wraithbone, picking out details of Abaddon Black, so they got these little triangle details over the eyes. So yeah, highlight that with Dawnstone. Wraithbone for the teeth, followed by Skeleton Horde and White Scar. Rune of Brass for the studs, followed by Aragnax Earthshade and Stormhost Silver. And then finally their tassels are coloured in Corn Red, Nuln Oil and Squig Orange. Black shields, so we start with Abaddon Black. Highlight with Lead Belcher. The teeth are picked out in Inky by Darkness, shaded with Nuln Oil and highlighted with Cyberite Green. The studs are painted in Retributor Armour, shaded with Vital and Flesh Shade and highlighted with Stormhost Silver. And we got the same sort of colour for our tassels again, so Corn Red, Nuln Oil and Squig Orange. Finally then, for the really cool looking green shields, so we start with Inky by Darkness, shaded Nuln Oil, highlight Cyberite Green. The eyes and mouth we pick out with Corax White, shade that with Coelia Green Shade and highlight with White Scar. The teeth picked out with Abaddon Black, then highlighted Dawnstone. The studs are picked out with Runald Brass, with the ones around the eyes actually picked out with Avalan Sunset down here. Then we wash the studs with Aragnax Earthshade and highlight Stormhost Silver. Same recipe again for the tassel. And the eyes here then are picked out with Avalan Sunset, Vital Flesh Shade and a highlight of Wraithbone. So really good paint guides in this issue. So moving on then, we have our new battle plan. This is the Shifting Paths. So we're using all 3 of our battle mats this time round, which is pretty cool. So our list is Knight Arcanum, Lord Impenitent and Gryph-hound, plus 5 Vindictors. Then the choice of either 6 Gryph-hounds or 5 True Revenants. And the choice of 4 Praetors or the Stormstrike Chariot. Then the Destruction, get a Fungoid Cave Shaman, the Killer Boss of Stabgrot, Hobgrot Slitters, and the Gut Rippers. Then can choose either the Manskewer Bolt Boys or the Marshcrawler Slogoth, and either the Moonclan Shooters or the Beast Skewer Killbows. So, choice are yours. And yeah, fun little mission to have there. So, speaking of the mission itself then, we have all 3 of our mats. We have 3 objectives located there. We have deployments in the sort of centre of the 2 end mats. So, we have 5 battle rounds to score points. The players with the most points at the end is declared the winner. So we score 1 point for each objective we control, point if we control 2 or more, and 1 point if we control more than the opponent. Then we have the lands in flux rule. When you make a charge roll, if you roll a double, your charge roll is modified to a 12. Ooh, it's a fun little bonus there. That's pretty cool. And we got Ian and Eve here playing a couple of turns just to show how they've done the game themselves. Looking into the future then, so we already know from last week's video, we got Loon Smasher Fanatics coming in issue 45. We learn about the armies of Shaiish with the undead hordes, and we have a brand new battle plan. In issue 46 is a fun one for the Sylvaneth players. We get a branch witch, so these guys are kind of important to take in your army as they help buff your units and even revive fallen trees. So yeah, pretty cool model, and I really do like how they've painted the grub in this one. I have seen somebody else's review of this issue, and I think they've done a really cool job with the bug. Not too keen on the bright orange they've done for the belly, unless they plan to highlight it later. But yeah, I'm going to do one bug in this colour scheme, and I'm planning to get another one of this one, so I'll paint the other bug in the same colour scheme I got in the paint guide for Mortal Realms Premium Kit 2, which was blue and white. So yeah, we also learn about the Night Haunt and science and sorcery. Right, bringing everything in then, I'll give you my final thoughts on issue 44. So for a paint issue, it's actually quite heavy on the paint guides for a change, which was really nice. We've had plenty of paint issues in the past where we've gotten paints, but we've never used the paints we've got in the issue. We've sometimes just added a few colours that we had in previous issues to models we've had and haven't coloured previously. But yeah, this one we actually use both our paints, Skeleton Horde, Mauled and Balor Brown. But yeah, it's nice. We're putting a lot more detail on our models now. Personally going to be adding a lot of details of these colours to my Stormcast when I get around to building and painting them. Really looking forward to painting some more Iron Thanes. This year seems to be the year of red armies, as I'm doing Blood Angels and the Iron Thanes for the Stormcast there. So all I need to do is find a red army for another game system, and I'm going to be living it up red. But I digress. Yeah, really cool issue. Loads of nice in-depth paint guides there for the scare shields. That's a nice bonus for you Auric Warclan players. I'm sure you've got more than the 10 gut rippers we've had so far. So yeah, perfect way to help distinguish which tribe your particular unit is from, which is really cool. Other than that, the paint guides are good. It's a pretty much tidy up and finish off small details that we haven't done previously sort of issue, but we are at least using those two new paints. The STC brush is good. Until this one, we've not had many thin brushes. This is a nice thin brush that will help you pick out all that detail that is yet to be picked out. So if you've been painting along with the magazine, this is a brilliant issue. We're bringing our models up to a much better standard. And in the next delivery, we actually get a issue where we start to add basing detail to our models. So we are really ramping up and getting to having completed models. Kind of a spoiler, as I've already covered quite a few premium kits that we've had from the collection and specials. Our basing scheme is going to be Catch and Flesh, a Grelin Battleland, and then Catch and Flesh around the base edge. But yeah, it's still going to be really cool. Can't wait for that issue. Going to be a fun one, I think. How are we going to add custom bases to our models? Going to be really fun. Right, there we have it. Yeah, issue 44, great paint issue for a change. Solid 5 out of 5, I think. Not too heavy on the lore, but yeah, it's really dedicated to all of that paint guides that we've had. Really cool. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've used any of these guides in your armies, which ones do you enjoy using the most, and maybe how have you painted your Aurics? Other than that, thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, stay safe and keep hobbying. Goodbye.